Any other questions? Yes?
We had a discussion with an NP, and I'm just wondering if you can point me to like a study that he says I believe. So he started with him joking that him and his colleagues laugh at echinacea, and it was quite the discussion. But I'm just wondering if there's any specific studies, a good study that you can point me to that I can say, here's a study done.
That says echinacea works?
No. He says him and the doctors laughed at it, that people think it works. So he's like, I'll believe in it I'll believe that it works on a non-placebo effect if I see a study, and I just was hoping you could point me to a good one.
Yeah, I could point you to about 50.
I know you could.
So,
and like where I could find those.
So the point is, though, just to make sure you understand with echinacea, it's a very popular one, but the science doesn't pan out as good as the popularity does. There are as many studies proving it works on phagocytosis and works on colds and flus, but there's lots of studies prove that it doesn't too. The reason is the form of echinacea, the quantity of echinacea, and how they're doing it. There are many other herbs that are actually better than echinacea for immune potentiating. But maybe at the break or after, I could show you a reference, or you could just ask for the monograph that we have on echinacea, and it has a list of the scientific papers. Then you can go online to PubMed and get them.
Okay.
That would be the easiest one.
Yeah,
So it just shows you the good ones and the bad ones.
Yeah.
So I have it right here actually on the table, but I'm not going to give it to you right now. There are papers on this.
Okay.
And one of the easiest things might be for it to be emailed to you.
Okay.
That might be more functional, but we'll talk about that later.
Okay.
A lot of people laugh because they don't understand.
Yeah.
And they can laugh all the way to the sickbed. And we'll take these things and be better. But not suggesting it's going to prevent all colds and flus. Echinacea is not what I would call one of the best herbals. It's a good herbal. Now to put that in perspective, I was an echinacea farmer for many years. And so I've grown a lot of echinacea, and I still believe in it. I don't grow it now because it's not economical. Mostly because echinacea has got to the point where other countries can grow it cheaper than we can in Canada. And therefore, as a commodity, it's not worth as much. There's another question over there? Yes?
Yeah, sodium algae, I know that it's really good for clearing your body, and it's been talked about a lot for radiation, but is it good for heavy metals?
It's somewhat good for heavy metals, but chlorella is better.
Okay.
For pulling heavy metals in general out, chlorella is better. For pulling radioactive isotopes out of the body, sodium alginate is better. Yes?
What do you think about things like zeolites, fulvic acid, black mica extract, which are all kind of volcanic materials for pulling radiation out?
Yeah, I haven't done enough research to really answer that question. I have done research on the zeolites, and it looks like it definitely pulls radiation out. So I really am not an expert enough on those minerals or those volcanic things. Intuitively, my mind says they're fairly useful, but they could be a little bit caustic on the system because they tend to be sharp-edged. So how are they going to actually fix if they're sitting in our body? I'd rather have them in a room pulling it out, but I haven't done enough research to really answer that question. Yes?
Why black tea is not good while we are doing detox?
Say that again?
Black tea.
Oh, why is black tea? The real reason is because in the cleanse, because so many people have candida problems, we're trying to lower candida issues itself. And so the process of making black tea is basically letting it ferment. So what you're doing is you're taking some tea and you're putting moisture on it. You're kind of letting it semi-rot and ferment. And because of that, it ends up with funguses and material on it. So at the first stage of a candida program and a detox, we suggest that it's not useful. It hasn't anything to do with the chemical constituents, meaning the green tea and even oolong tea is quite all right. It's just the process of how it's made.